61. You're watching this because you wanted to see the lesson again, or you missed the lesson because of COVID or for any other reason. Just take a moment, factor each expression, use that factoring guide we've been going on to help yourself. I'm going to keep going. Two terms, and they do have a GCF other than 1. So I'm going to pull that out. And if I pull a factor of 4a squared from here, I'm left with 11a minus. And what I was noticing is that if people think if you pull all of this out, outside there's nothing left. But actually there's always a factor of, that's right, 1. There you have it. All right. 4 terms. You practiced this yesterday in class. You practiced it for homework. You group because it's 4 terms. There is no GCF other than 1. So we're going to try grouping. All right. Grouping worked. We have the same thing in both parentheses. We'll factor it out. And then we'll write down what's left. Declan, what's up? Great. All right, so I did post a picture of me doing all the problems and all the work for all of them. All the homework ones were tricky. You had to do that system of trying a positive 3 and then switching it to a negative 3. All right, so if one was out or maybe you didn't get it, here is our factoring guide, or my version of the factoring guide. This is what we got left. I created this because the directions of all of chapter 7 are just going to be to factor. And I thought about, well, factoring can mean a lot of things, just like simplifying can. So this is something we can fall back to if we can't remember. All right, so today we're going to talk about factoring. So write down this. We have x squared plus 10x plus 16. All right, let's go through our guide. 3 terms. Do they have a GCF other than 1? No. Is it 4 terms? No. All right, you might say this can't be factored, but I'm going to be honest. This actually came from 2 parentheses. This times this is this. So we can actually find 2 things that multiply together to get this. 2 things that multiply together to get this. And I think you can figure it out on your own. So instead of me doing it, I have some thoughts for you. Okay, this is 7.3. The idea is factoring trinomials. Okay. And what some of you usually realize is this trinomial, right, 3, used to be 4 terms. Okay. But 2 of the terms were alike, so we simplified it into 1 term. Okay. If you can figure out which was added to make one of them, then we can use grouping, because if we know how to do it with 4 terms, we just don't know how to do it with 3 terms. So I want you to think about the connection between 10x and the 16. These 2 things are connected. The 10x and the 16. So instead of me telling you, I want you to discover it. Remember, factoring is the reverse of the distributive property. So I would like you to multiply all of these, see what you get, and then look for the connection between what's in the parentheses and what you end up with. Okay. Pause it. I'm going to do the error model for all of these. Okay, so you've gone through it, and again, I wanted you to think about the connection between this number and this number, this number and this number, this number and this number, right? And I'll help you a little bit. How is the 7 made? How is the 10 made? How is this 8 made? How is the 12 made? How about the negative 12? How about the 27? Right? Well, again, tell me how the 7 was made. Well, we did 5x plus 2x. Right, 5 and 2 made this. What about this one? 5 times 2. Oh, 5 plus 2, 5 times 2. How about this 8? 6 plus 2. How about this 12? 6 times 2. Oh. I wonder if it works down here. Negative 9 plus negative 3. Oh. Negative 9 times negative 3. What? Okay, so those middle terms and these were made the same, right? 2 and 5x made 7x. 7x and 2x made 8x. Negative 9 and negative 3 made negative 12. Sure. We can now factor this. Well, the 16 and 10 were made from the same two things. So we can make a little table. We just have to find two numbers that multiply to 16 and then also sum to 10 and get us the 10x. I'll just list them all. Any of those multiply to get 16 and add to 10? Not here. Not here. Oh, boom, we found it. So that means this 10x came from 2x and 8x. 2 times 8 is 16, and 2 plus 8 is 10. Sweet. And now that there's 4 terms, we can use grouping. Sweet. So we found it. X plus 2 times x plus 8 equals this. Awesome. Let's see if we can try this one, right? Again, we're multiplying to get this 12, and it's the same two numbers that sum to 8. So what could multiply to 12 and sum to 8? You could just list everything. Well, 2 times 6 adds up to 8. So the 8x came from 2x and 6x. Now we know the 4 terms, we can use grouping. And now we found our answer. It's x plus 2 times x plus 6. Now, there is a shortcut here. Maybe you could see a shortcut. I don't want to give it away yet, but there is kind of a shortcut here that I will eventually want you to use. But think about what's in the parentheses and what we found, right? What do we find that works and what's in the parentheses? What do we find that works and that's in the parentheses? Think about it. What's in the parentheses and what do we find? Well, let's try one more here. This time we're trying to multiply to 36 as well as sum to negative 20. Well, 1 and 36, 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9, 6 and 6. None of those multiply to get negative 20. Sorry, add to negative 20. Oh no. 37, 20, 15, 13, 12. None of those add up to negative 20. But this is what's tricky. Besides a positive multiplied by positive to equal 36, you can also do negatives. A negative times a negative is also a positive. And if we add them, we'll end up with negative numbers. And now, do any of these work? Well, here it goes. We found it. Negative 2 and negative 18. So we can, negative 20 came from negative 2 and negative 18. Then we can use grouping. Grouping gets tricky here. Any thoughts on what you could get based on our pattern above? We found 2 and 6 to be the numbers, and look what's in our parentheses. We found 2 and 8, and look what's in our parentheses. And so I push people to say, well, we need the x squared, so x and x. We need to get these two numbers, and once we find these, boom and boom. And there you go. That's the factors. I'll do it up here the long ways. It gets a little tricky. I have to pull a negative 18 out of these two. There you go. All right, there's one more before you're set off to classwork. Same idea works. A trinomial that used to be 4 terms, so we're going to find things that multiply to negative 36, sum to 5. This time we're trying to multiply to negative 36, so we need one positive and one negative version. None of those are working. 3 and 12, I don't think so. Oh, I think I found it. Negative 9 times 4, no, that's negative 5. Oh, the other way around, 9 and negative 4. 4 times negative 4 times 9 is negative 36, and this adds to positive 5. So we found our numbers. X squared came from 9x, 5x came from 9x, and 4x. And now we could use grouping, but I want you to use the shortcut. To get the x squared, we need a positive 9. We need x and x. And to get these other three, we need positive 9 and a negative 4. Cool. So we're to continue to practice this. Trinomials are really important. But your classwork is probably here. There's homework posted. I'll talk to everybody later.